所以素琼，你待会会有想要分享吗？还是不要提？
哦，没有，我想不要说好了。你问我我就说你不问我我就不说了。
哦，因为其实不用讲到细节，其实只要讲，就是说本来想生气，结果想到那些话就没有生气了。这个想生气也是不能控制的，那个想到那些话也不是就突然想到的，那是因为误会嘛。
我的意思是说，因为这个事情结束之后，我也很懊恼，就是说我是一个老人，已经年纪很大的老人，为什么我会跟一个小孩子一般见识？我觉得有一点沮丧。后来我就想到，上一次 John 有说到说，你就算你这一次发现了，你下次这个不善还是会再升起。
好，
那我想到这个，我就放下了，这样子。我的意思是这样子。
OK. All right, then let's continue. Lily was sharing. She had a situation that the dosa arise, strong dosa arise, and then and then suddenly she thought about what John said last week about the akusara will have the opportunity to arise again. The dosa, the tendency is still there. So when she thought about it, that helped her. It's beneficial to her. And she was also listening again of the discussion last time.
It helps very much when there are no expectations about what the mental state will be at any time.
那首先呢是谢谢素琼哦，基本上我们不用进入例子的细节，但是基本上就是素琼本来是生气了，但是那个愤怒升起了，但是他想到像上个星期有提到这些不善的法，因为没有根除嘛，所以他还会有条件升起的。那所以这是有帮助他当时的状态哦，心理状态。那刚刚这样提醒我们最有帮助的是，并不会去期待什么样的法要升起，你不去期待应该要怎么样，接下来应该是要什么。
And it also helps when one appreciates the way things truly are. That is, that as long as the akusala has not been eradicated, it will find a way to arise again and again.
所以我们也要去试着去所谓的感激 appreciate 这个 the way things are 这事情它运作就是这样子运作的。比如只要不善法还没有根除，它就一定会有机会再升起。所以我们要认清也接受这件事情。
And it also helps when one appreciates that the development of the path is not having less agusala or no strong agusala, but developing a better understanding of the realities arising at the present moment and appearing.
那么我们有一个很重要的就是正道的培养的重点并不在去阻止不善的升起的，或者是任何强烈的不善了。真正正道的培养是去了解现在正在出现的法，我们更清楚的了解它的本质是什么。
And it's all together, one can say it helps when there's a better appreciation of the fact that realities are conditioned and arise by conditions, not by reason of any exercise of will or expectation on our part.
所以我们可以说呢，什么是真正有帮助的呢？我们越来越清楚，越来越了解，有信心。其实这些法是因人生的，而因人条件升起的，并不是由谁有你或我因为期望或者是意志力去决定什么该升起，他们是有因人条件升起的。
So Lily, I appreciate your understanding at that time, but we shouldn't expect there will be the same understanding another time either.
所以素琼这样也谢谢你在去思会这件事情就是那个时候有了解升起了。 但是也不用去期望每一次一定都有了解。
And I think last time we discussed how when there is the wish not to have strong dosa, or such as not blaming or getting angry with the other, there's the idea of I and them at such times.
所以说还是提醒，上次我们也有提到说，当我们希望不要有嗔恨升起的时候呢，就是上升那一刻一定又是有个是我的嗔恨哦，比他们有我跟他们真正的存在，有我在对他们生气这件事情，所以其实他骨子里还是允许我的存在。
There's the idea that I would like not to have such strong dosa because I don't like it for me, and one also would like the other not to have strong dosa because it's them. So there's always thinking of the world as something and someone all the time.
因为在愤怒嗔恨的那些时刻呢，通常我们就会认为是我的生气，我在生气哦，或者是我们也不希望自己是在这种生气的状况，还是有个我，或者是他们在生气，就是还是活在有我有东西的世界里。
So we discussed how there has to be the understanding of the truth now, the understanding that there are just different realities arising and falling away, no I and no them.
所以这个真相呢，就只是不同的因缘生灭的法而已哦，这是真正的真相，并没有我或他们的存在。
Seeing is a Dhamma that arises and falls away, not my seeing. Hearing arises and falls away. Thinking, kindness, anger, attachment, they're all realities that arise and fall away, not belonging to me.
那么现在在看的那个眼视呢，他身体就面出，它并不是我的眼视，也不是我在看。同样的也是耳视，或者是去思考，不是我可以决定要怎么思考的。那思考的时候是有慈爱呢，还是有嗔恨呢？这都是无我的，他们都因缘条件升起的，并不是真的有我们或我的存在。
And the stronger the clinging to oneself, the stronger the clinging to being the one without anger, without akusala, having more kusala, on and on, not the understanding of realities as they are.
那么对我的执取越深呢，就会越要去执取我不要有愤怒，我要有更好的、更多的善法，我不要不善法，因为对我的执取更深，对这些法越是把他们认为是我的。
So we discuss how all the four sampajanyas, the different kinds of understanding, all refer to the understanding of what is true, what is real at this moment, no matter it's seeing or hearing or kindness or anger. They're just dhammas that arise and fall away.
所以我们上个星期谈到智慧的不同的面向，那4种不同的面向，但是所有的智慧呢，一定都是关于了解现在这个时候的法，他们到底是什么？他们不管那个在看的、在听的、在想的、在慈爱、在愤怒的，它都不是我。
And so back to your point, while there is ignorance and attachment to what appears, there will be anger again and again and again by conditions.
那么，所以回到一开始提到，只要无明贪爱这些很深的不善法没有被根除之前呢，他们就一定会有机会再升起，不知道真相，然后去贪爱自己。
And the stronger the clinging to what appears, the stronger the dosa it conditions when it's not the one one likes.
那么，对于什么想要出现、期望什么要出现的贪爱执寻越深，那么那个失望所带来的嗔恨也就越大。
Usually everyone is concerned about dosa because it arises with unpleasant feeling. But what about the strong attachment to oneself that arises with pleasant feeling? Without this attachment, there wouldn't be the dosa.
那么一般我们真正不喜欢的是那个嗔恨升起的时候的不愉快啊。那可是我们对自己执取的时候的贪爱呢，有愉快的感受的时候呢，我们其实是不介意的。但这个越深，那就一定会有嗔恨。
So only when there's no more clinging to sense objects can there be no more dosa of any kind.
那么只有到第三果的圣人不再对感官对象的贪爱执取，才会不再有任何的嗔恨升起。
And the only way out is the understanding of realities of dharmas now as anatta, just dharmas, not belonging to me or anyone else.
唯一可以解决这些问题的道路呢，就是了解现在正在出现的法，他们是因缘生命的，并不是我的那个伟大才能真的解决到做这些解。
And I think before there's a proper understanding of the Dhamma, one perhaps has the idea that all agusala is to be avoided by whatever means. In other words, one has a certain fear of agusala.
那么，其实，在我们真的很适当的、真正的了解佛陀教导之前呢，我们其实都一定对这些不善法有一定程度的恐惧哦。
And there tends to be the view that if I can develop the habit of not getting angry at such and such a thing, then that habit will develop and will eventually be to my benefit.
所以很自然的就会认为，比如说我要培养不去生气的习惯，那这个习惯一旦养成了，对我是有利的。
Or one has the fear that every moment of agusala that arises is the development of a bad habit, an unwholesome habit, that will only make it more likely for that agusala to arise again another time.
或者我们会有一个恐惧，就是当不善升起的时候，不善的行为、言语等等，它会慢慢的加深累积，变成一个习惯，我们对这个也是恐惧的。
But this would be to misunderstand the Buddha's teaching about the conditioned nature of realities.
那么这会是对佛陀所说的法是因缘生命的这种恐惧是一种误解。
Because as we now appreciate, if the accumulated tendency is there, it will find a way to manifest from time to time by conditions.
那么我们现在开始去了解，就是这些过去所有累积的不善，他们一定这些趋势呢，一定会有机会升起的。
Just like when we taste a taste that is one of our favorite tastes, there will be attachment. That's natural, normal. It happens now. It has happened like that in the past, and it will keep happening like that in the future.
就好像我们吃到我们喜欢的味道，尝到那个喜欢的味道的时候，就会贪爱这个味道。这个是一定很自然正在发生的。在过去也是这样，在未来也会这样。
But the path taught by the Buddha is not to stop having the liking, the attachment, when there's a pleasant flavor experienced, but to develop understanding of whatever reality is appearing at the present moment.
但是佛陀的教导并不是要我们在这些不善法升起的时候呢，用意志力去打压他们、控制他们不要升起，而是去了解他们。
Because what keeps us going in the round of samsara is not so much the liking of pleasant tastes, but failing to see the true nature of all conditioned realities as being worthless and of no intrinsic value.
因为在不断的无止境的轮回中的真正的原因，并不是对这些什么美好的味道的贪爱执取哦，而是并没有智慧去了解这些就只是因缘生命的，并没有任何执取的价值。
And those characteristics, that is the worthlessness and of no intrinsic value, they apply as much to gusala realities as to agusala ones.
而且这些因缘生命 升起就立刻灭去的法，不只是不善法，善法也一样没有汲取的价值。
And so we can see in this way that it's not just a matter of having more kusala and less akusala in our daily life. It's a matter of developing a better understanding of whatever reality appears, even if it's a rupa that has no intrinsic wholesome or unwholesome value to it.
那么，所以在日常生活中，真正重要的并不是说我有更少的不善法，我有更多的善法的升起哦，而是有没有智慧的培养去了解这些法的本质呢？比如那个色法，它并不能去经验嘛，它也没有善或不善的一个。
Can anyone stop dosa to arise? Impossible. But we just think about dosa. What about the other unwholesome realities as attachment and ego and whatever is there as akusala? No one think about that. One just like to have such and such and such and dislike when it's unpleasant. But without attachment to that, how can it condition the dosa?
两个重点哦，首先第一个，有谁可以阻止嗔恨升起呢？不可能哦。那么除了嗔恨这个不善法以外，那其他的不善法呢，我们在不在乎？比如说贪爱，比如说骄傲、自我、自大。那如果没有这些贪爱的执取，还会有嗔恨吗？
Today, we have lots of things for attachment all the time, but no thinking about that is a condition for dosa to arise.
今天呢，我们大家都一样有很多不同的强弱的贪爱的执取哦，可是我们并没有了解到，如果不是因为这样子的贪爱的因缘条件，嗔恨也不会升起。
Does anyone think about have less attachment? One just think about not having dosa, but what about very, very strong accumulation of attachment from moment to moment all day?
所以我们会想的是不要有很多嗔恨，但是我们会去想说不要有很多贪爱呢。虽然它已经在那里了，但是去了解这个贪爱是这个嗔恨升起的因缘条件。
So it's only the dream of ignorance not to have such dosa because it's not pleasant at all. But can it be done by ignorance, not understanding anything at all, just want and wish not to have this and that?
所以，当我们不是真的了解智慧去了解的时候呢，我们只是想要不要有更多的不善，因为不愉快，这有可能办得到吗？
But what is the absolute truth always unknown, unthought about?
那么，什么是真相呢？这个绝对的真相是没有被知道的，也没有去想到它。
So the Buddha taught about the truth of whatever is now appearing as it is.
所以佛陀教导我们的是现在在那里出现的这个。
When there is the understanding of the truth of this moment, there can be the understanding of whatever reality is there, no matter it is attachment or dosa.
所以，当智慧能够了解现在在那里的是什么的时候呢，那个对象不管是什么，任何法都可以，嗔恨或是其他的法。
So be true to oneself, whether now there is the understanding of better to have less attachment, not only less dosa, aversion.
所以重点是培养智慧，而不是说有更少的不善，更少的嗔恨。
To be truthful is the way to have no dosa or less dosa and less akusala.
那么，当然，诚实的面对真相，才是去了解真相，才是会有越来越少的不善的条件。
When it's wholesome moment, it doesn't hurt at all. But when it is akusala, no matter what it is there, it hurts, it harms.
也就是说，当智慧升起去了解的那一刻，它是 善，所以那一刻是不可能有不善的。那么如果没有善升起，是不善升起呢？那个时候一定是有伤害性的。
Does anyone see the danger of dosa now or always see the danger of it?
现在有人看到嗔恨的危险吗？是现在看到，还是一直都可以看得到？
It's only just dislike it, but it's not seeing the danger of it.
是看到嗔恨的危险，还是只是不喜欢嗔恨？
Is that true?
是不是这样子？是真的这样吗？
So, without understanding what is what as not self at all, it's impossible to not having any akusala at all.
所以如果不能够了解现在跟那里的法是什么，它的本质到底是什么，是不可能未来的不善法就会减少的。
And so Buddha taught about nothing can eliminate akusala, only right understanding itself. One reality which can eliminate and eradicate our akusala is only right understanding of the truth.
佛陀的教导呢，只有智慧正确的去了解真相，才能够逐渐的根除所有的不善法。
There can be many thinking about akusala in different ways. It's useless to have dosa. Is that right? Just useless to have dosa.
有许多的方式可以去考量思考，比如说有嗔恨是完全没有用的。
And is it useless to talk about my dosa here and then or now and or there?
那么把这些嗔恨呢当成是我的这个情况下，那个情况下，这个也是没有帮助。
It indicates that there is clinging to the self very subtle, one's own feeling, one's own dosa.
那这表示呢，你把那个法当成是我的，那个嗔恨的法是我的。所以
But
是
dosa is dosa. When there's no conditions for its arising, it cannot arise at all. So it does not belong to anyone at all.
但嗔恨就是嗔恨哦，它是一个法，它升起是有因缘条件的，它要升起就升起了，有条件到了就升起了。如果是谁
Is there now dosa?
现在有没有嗔恨？
But there can be thinking of it, about it, with the idea of my dosa.
那么现在有注意到嗔恨，但是会认为它是我的嗔恨。
The dosa has gone, never to arise again. Can it be my dosa anymore?
刚刚那个嗔恨如果有的话，它已经有灭去了，它不会再回来了。那一个强度的嗔恨，它可以是我的吗？它不会再回来是我吗？
And it's not just when it's there as my dosa. Even at that very moment, it does not belong to anyone. When there is the understanding of a reality at a time.
那么即使是嗔恨升起的那一刻，它也不是我。
So at moment of dosa, it means that there is no understanding of dosa, and take it for my dosa, which is wrong, because it's gone even right then.
但是我们会把那个嗔恨升起的那一刻当成是我在生气，我的愤怒。
So very rapidity, the rising and falling away of even dosa right then, and other reality which are there too.
那么在那里快速生灭的，除了嗔恨以外，还有其他的法。
So it's this moment, it's not just only dosa when it's there, but at any time there must be a reality arising and falling away unknowingly.
那么在任何时刻，就像现在，一定也有许多不同其他的法，它升起就灭，但是它并没有被知道，并没有被了解。
Should all reality be known as they are, not as only dosa?
那么这些法应该要被了解吗？而不是只有嗔恨。
So when dosa is not now and here, what about that which is there to be known? Otherwise, nothing can be known.
所以当现在如果没有嗔恨的时候呢，有没有其他的法？有啊。那么其他的法，这个时候有在那里，它就可以被了解。
And that is the moment of understanding the danger of all akusa, especially the condition, the main cause of all akusa is ignorance, not understand the truth of that which is now appearing.
当有智慧升起去了解在那里的是什么的真相的时候呢，智慧当然也会了解这些不善法升起的危险哦。那么说不善法的越根源是无明掩盖的真相。
So no matter what is there, from the words of the teaching about the truth, there can be the beginning of understanding the danger of ignorance of that very moment.
所以智慧也会去了解，因为无明掩盖的真相，让不善法有条件升起，智慧了解无明的危险。
What appears now gone, unknowingly, it seems that it's there all the time because of the repetitive succession of the arising and falling away. Nobody can change the truth.
那可是我们认为有东西在我们面前周围持续在那里，就是因为法的生命很快，快到我们以为是持续在那里的。
Even what is there now is not easy to understand the subtlety of the truth of whatever is there just very, very shortly.
即使是现在在那里的是什么，这个真相也是非常的深奥的细微的。我们一直有东西在那里，但是并不是有。
And the understanding of the truth that nothing is permanent at all, it's there just when it's there, can condition more letting go and less clinging, which is a condition for less dosa too.
那么在了解，即使只是理智上知道在那里的其实并不是持续的，而是快速生命的法而已。这件事情也可以成为逐渐舍离的因缘条件。
But don't see just the danger of dosa, danger of whatever arises and falls away, never to return, but it condition clinging because of no understanding of this truth.
那么，智慧看到的不只是嗔恨的危险，事实上，智慧看到是升起就灭去的法都是危险，并是善法，那并没有任何执取的。
The truth is there at any time. That's why the best thing in life is to understand the truth, because it hasn't been known before long time ago. So it's time to hear, to study, to understand the truth of it little by little.
那么在任何一刻呢，其实真相都在那里，每一刻的真相就只是这些生命的法，就是它一直没有被知道，所以最珍贵的就是能够有这个机会去了解真相是什么。
It's not enough just to think or to say, it's not me, it's just a reality. But it has to be the understanding of that which has been talked about, learned about, when it's there right now.
那么如果只是说诸法无我，这些不是我，不是我的，光是这样子重复是没有用的，而是要真的了解现在呢有什么法在那里，逐渐的去思考它，靠近它。
Usually, no one think about what is there now, but think about so many things like yesterday, what have been there, and on. But what is there now? It's not the object of interest for them yet.
一般来讲呢，我们是对于现在什么在那里的真相是没有兴趣去了解的。我们想的都是，比如说昨天啊发生什么事，或者是今天有什么计划，但是在那里的是什么？有兴趣知道吗？
So what is more interesting and what is more benefit to understand the truth right now? Not just think about that which has gone, even just a moment ago.
那么，所以是什么比较让你觉得有趣呢？还是什么是对你帮助比较大的？我们会去想着一些概念呢，有其实那个已经过去了，刚才的事情过去了。
As long as there is no understanding of what is there as it is, one lives in the world of darkness, of ignorance, so very dark.
那么没有智慧升起去了解什么是真相的时候，其实我们就活在黑暗之中的，非常的黑暗，我们不晓得。
Why it's not dark? Because it is there now, and no understanding of the truth of it.
为什么是黑暗的呢？因为真相就在那里，可是一点都不晓得什么是真的。
And Buddha is a doctor who can cure blindness for everyone who is blind.
佛陀的教导呢，是能够治疗眼睛瞎的人，让眼睛能够看得见。
When there's no understanding, is it blind or not blind?
在没有智慧去了解真相的时候，是不是瞎了呢？
So, when is blindness?
老师说，什么时候是看不见的？什么时候是瞎的？
If there is no understanding, it cannot be cured.
如果没有智慧去了解真相，是不会治疗这个瞎子看不见的。
The words of the truth from the Buddha is just like the medicine. Very, very precious. Very, very miraculous. Because it can condition moment of beginning to understand the truth of this moment of the world.
那么佛陀的话是很珍贵的，佛陀的话是解药哦，它帮助我们治病哦。他的话成为我们了解现在这一刻的真相的因缘条件。
Otherwise, it's just the same world of ignorance, just live in dream, thinking about this and that, while there's nothing is left at all.
否则我们一直活在无明之中哦，我们一直在梦想的这个或那个想着这些不同的概念，而不知道真相到底是什么。
So when one doesn't like to have dosa, one still like to have something. And then one day it can condition dosa because there is life, and when it's lost, it conditions the moment of grief or unhappy feeling, unpleasant feeling, just like a moment of dosa.
当我们任何一个人不想要、不喜欢嗔恨，可是我们会想要别的东西，就会成为日后悲伤以及不快乐、沮丧的。
As in truth, there's no one at all. So reality goes on by conditions from moment to moment, like now.
但真相其实是没有人嘛，所以就只是这些法生灭不断的善法的累积，持续一刻接着一刻下去。
So it's not just try to understand the word, but to know the truth that how much understanding of this moment.
所以不是只是在文字上的了解，是真的去了解现在这一刻的法。
Otherwise, it just is the same dream world in darkness.
又一样在黑暗之中的梦的世界里面黑暗中。
So, at moment of seeing now, it's moment of what? A dream or truth?
所以在看的时候呢，是有了解的真相吗？还是一样在做梦？
If there's no interest to understand the truth, it's just like whatever in life, that birth and death and birth and death, on and on and on.
如果没有兴趣想要去了解真相是什么，那么其实就是在一颗一颗黑暗之中，一颗又一颗的。
And not understanding what's meant by the enlightened one or the moment of enlightened the truth.
那么就不会了解什么叫做开悟，什么叫做开悟了解的真相是什么。
It's just the word.
这只是文字而已。
But the absolute truth is so true.
但究竟真相是这么的真实哦。
Conform with all words from the Buddha.
以佛陀的教导，他的话。
That's why I study the truth right now when it's there.
所以在这个教导还可以被听到的时候呢，去了解法，了解真相。
And the absolute truth is no one there. See, so what is it? If there's no understanding of the truth of that, it cannot let go the idea of self.
那么真相是没有人、没有东西，所以在那里的是什么？如果不能够真的知道，怎么会逐渐能够离我的存在呢？
And Buddha taught about everything. That's why we can study the word which talks about whatever is there now too.
那么佛陀教导了我们所有关于开悟该知道的，所以现在在那里的真相是什么？
And the moment of now is so very short, so it's now and now and now and now. Depend on condition. What now is the moment of thinking or studying, understanding what is that.
那么，即使当我们说现在呢，因为生命太快了，所以当我们说现在，它其实也过去了，所以一直现在，一刻接着一个过去。但是是哪一刻的现在的法可以了解呢？也是因缘条件。素琼有没有什么疑问呢，或不清楚的地方？你有听到吗？还是你麦克风是关着的？
现在没有疑问，谢谢。
Could we talk more about what is said we live in our own world?
Okay. Could you say it again?
It's about we live in our own world. Could we talk more about this? 问题是我们活在自己的世界里面，我们可不可以多讨论一下为什么我们是活在自己的世界里？
So, what is the world? Your own world. What is the world?
什么是世界呢？当我们说活在自己的世界，什么是世界？
If there is no understanding of the world, we think that the whole world as usual, full of things around, people around, is that the world? Or your world? Or what's meant to the world in the absolute truth? The true world, not the imagination world.
当我们不了解什么是真正的世界的时候呢，我们以为我们的世界就是我们现在周遭的这些人啊、事物、东西，但是什么才是真正的世界呢？
Even the world can be known of its truth.
即使是世界这个字，它也可以是它的真相也可以被了解。
So what is there taken for a word or world?
所以在那里的什么被当成是所谓的世界。
If there is no thinking about anything at all, what is world there? No thinking about anything.
如果没有去思考，没有去概念化，那个世界是什么？会有世界吗？传统的世界。
See, the question is, if there is no thinking about anything at all, is there a word?
所以这个问题是呢，如果没有去思考，没有去意能的去想、去造作、概念化，会有我们所谓的认为的世界吗？是不会有的。有没有其他回答？是没有去思考，会有传统的世界吗？有没有人要回答老师呢？
我突然想到一句话我有看过一本书，因为什么时候开始有时间的？从有我开始有时间的。如果这个问题就是如果没有我，那就没有时间的问题。那个不是因为有时间或没有时间的问题，是因为有我才开始有时间。我突然想到是这样子。谢谢。
Chitta, he was sharing what are John's question. So remind him something he read about before. The concept of time is because of concept of I. Because there's a thinking about there's an I idea of I, and there is all the other idea like the concept of time.
Is there seeing when there's no thinking?
那么在没有思考的那一刻，有没有在看？就是说没有去思考的时候呢，那一刻有没有可能是在看？
有可能，因为如果有眼睛这些的话，那还是会有其他的看啊听。
Yes, it's possible. Without thinking, there can be seeing or hearing.
So is seeing a world?
那么，所以那在看的那一刻，那个去看的这个世界，眼视是不是一个世界？
我不太清楚这个意思。
I'm not quite sure about what does this mean. Is seeing a world?
Because without seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, and sleeping, and so on, can there be world appearing? You live in the world. Usually one think like that. but actually, what is the world? See, the medicine from the Buddha cured the blindness, thinking that we were in the world as usual with people and things, but in truth, when there's no thinking at all about anything, but there can be a moment of seeing, is that not a world?
因为呢，因为有不同的法在看、在听等等，在想，那么就有所谓我们的造作概念化了我们认为的世界是什么。那当没有在想的那一刻，只是在看的那一刻，那个看或者是被看到的是不是世界呢？
应该算是吧。
Yes, it should be viewed as the world.
So there can be the understanding of the truth of the world, the true world, at moment when something is arising and falling away, unknown yet, only that which appears, no understanding of the arising and falling away, even of that very object which appears, still blind. But to understand the truth that the world means whatever arises and falls away, otherwise there cannot be world at all, even the star, the moon, or the sun.
真正的世界呢，是那个升起就灭去的，就是世界了。那没有这个所谓的究竟法，这些法所谓的世界呢，就不会有我们认为有个人有个东西在那个传统的世界，太阳啊、月亮都一样。那是因为有法，这些快速生命的真正的世界，才会有后来出现的概念化的世界。
Is that true? So there can be a little more understanding. At moment of seeing, no one there at all. It's only the reality which arises to see, to experience that which impinges on the eye base. That's all. No one. So it's the world, whatever arises and falls away, not anyone at all.
那么真的是这样吗？在看的那一刻，就只是那个升起去看的眼视，以及那个被看到的色尘而已。那一刻有谁在那里？有人在那里吗？
So can there be the whole world, like we used to think about the whole world, without anything arising at all?
所以如果没有这些法，究竟法的升起，会有我们所谓的认为的传统的世界在那里吗？
So the truth is that whatever arises and falls away is the world. When they arises and falls away so many things, it appears as so many things are the world.
所以真相是呢，那个升起就灭去的那个法，那一刻的世界就是那个法。
Is it true?
是真的吗？
So whatever arises is a world. Otherwise, without that which arises, how can there be the whole world as we used to take it, as a whole world?
所以那个升起呢，它会马上灭去，就是没有那个升起的法，那个世界就不会有我们所以为的存在的传统上的世界。
I'd just like to ask Jitta what he understands by the passage he quoted, namely that the concept of time is because concept of I. What is your understanding of that when you read it?
那么提大哥这样是想跟你确认一下，当你读到有我的概念的存在，认为我存在，所以才会认为时间存在。他想听听你对这句话的了解是什么？
因为刚刚我听了阿姜老师，然后 Vincent 大概解释一下，我认为是没有错。因为如果说有具足，比方说说眼识升起，那如果是没有意识、没有心，那在有的世界里面也不会形成有这个相，有这个具足，这个有，所以在有的世界里面，全部就是一连串有的因缘具足升起才会有。
Okay. First, if there is no Dhamma arise to experience, there is nothing experienced. There is no sense of something there existing. So it's 大哥，你最后一句讲什么？
就是说， 在我们现在这个现象有的世界里面，一切的具足有，比方说眼识升起，意识升起，才会一切的有的升起，这个世界才会有。如果没有的话，那就是如果你没有升起具足，那这个世界就不会有啊。
Okay. So the sense of the conventional world existing, people and something, is because the Dhamma experience. Without the Dhamma to experience, there's no sense of existing.
I missed the last bit, but no sense of...
No sense of something exists.
Something exists, yes. Well, I think that's what Ajahn has been talking about. It's because of the experience of different objects through the sense door and thinking about those experiences that there is the concept of the world.
那么这也是老师刚刚在解释的，就是因为眼耳鼻舌身的感官根门的经验，那么就有了一门的去概念化，去造作我们所谓的认知的世界。
And that is the same for every being in samsara, isn't it? Whether they have heard the Dhamma or not.
那么这个事实呢，对所有在轮回的各个界里面的有情众生都一样的，不管他有没有听到佛法。
There is never a moment when there is no nama arising.
那么对于有情众生来讲，在轮回中的有情众生，没有任何一刻是没有明法的升起的，心识之流是一定一直在生灭的。
So can we say that the conceptual idea, the conceptual idea is a part of the existence in samsara? Conceptual thinking is part of the existence in samsara.
因此，我们可不可以说，会去概念化的思考这件事情，是在轮回中的一个必有的一个现象？
But that thinking can be with right view or with wrong view or just with ignorance or with kusala jittas but not with understanding.
但是这种一门在造作在概念化的这件事情呢，它的差别在于是无明不善法，在思考在概念化，还是那个时候是有正确的见解是善。
So the difference between the different beings in the world, mainly those who are not enlightened and those are, is not whether there is conceptual idea of the world, but whether the conceptualization is with or without right view.
因此，我们所谓的凡人跟圣人的差别呢，并不在于说圣人就不会有概念化的思考，不是的。这个差别是在于，在思考概念的时候呢，是有没有正确的见解，还是无明邪见。
So the concept of time is always there, even for the enlightened being.
因此，时间的概念会一直在那里，因为你没有办法避免思考概念哦。即使对圣人来讲，他们也是会有时间的概念的。
By concept of time, I suppose you mean past, present, and future.
那么，当你提到时间的概念呢，那我假设你指的是有过去、现在跟未来。
Some people may have the idea that the enlightened being lives in the present moment, in the sense that there is no thinking of the past or the future, but that is not correct.
那么有些人呢，可能会认为这些开悟的圣人们呢，是活在当下的。那么当他们提到活在当下的意思呢，通常指的是不会去想着过去，也不会去想着未来。
And it would not be possible to live at all with no concept of yesterday, today, tomorrow, or the past moment, or what is happening later in the day.
这个并不是这样子哦，圣人如果没有概念，一样也是不可能活下去的哦，不可能说不知道刚刚是待会的思考。
But for the enlightened being, there's no mistaking what is reality and what is the purely conceptual.
但是对圣人来讲，他们不会有任何的困惑，什么是概念，什么是真正的存在。
And we can, do you think that there is any, do you think that the concept of time is somehow different for the enlightened being?
那么你会不会认为，说，时间的概念对圣人来讲会不一样吗？跟我们对时间的概念是不一样吗？第八个，你觉得呢？圣人有时间的概念哦。
我觉得应该不是说时间有还是没有，是因为在有的世界里面，因为刚在讨论说世界嘛，那时间在有概念的世界里面，那就是有时间啊。重点是那个不去住，或是因为这个又要开始要讲到名词了，所以越解释就越远。应该是圣人他没有想要怎么样，或是不想要怎么样。我的理解是这样，而不是时间是有还是没有。那因为我们现在刚讨论时间嘛，所以那讨论时间，我不觉得不是说时间有还是没有。那因为我们现在有一门嘛，那可能有无明，那可能也看不清楚现在升起，其实说我现在可能贪已经升起了，可是我不知道那个重点会不会是在于我有想要怎么样，或是没有想要怎么样，这中间就牵扯到无明跟贪，跟有没有看到现在到底升起了什么。我的想法是这样。
To Chitta, he thinks for the Aryan, it's not about time exists or not. It's about if they don't have the moha and lobha, and they don't desire or they don't like something or dislike something.
Yes, thank you for sharing your ideas, Chitta. Nice to have your participation. You are quite right to say that the enlightened being is without akusala of any kind. He or she has eradicated all kinds of akusala.
首先，谢谢批发哥分享你的看法。你说的是没有错，对于那些已经完美的阿罗汉来讲，他们已经没有任何的不善法了，所以他们不会去所谓的欲望什么或不要什么。
And it would be correct to say the Arahat does not think that time exists. But the question I would ask you is, for the unenlightened being, does he or she think that time exists, or is it understood to be something conceptual?
对，的确，那对圣人来讲呢，他们不会认为时间这个概念是真正的存在的，因为它是个概念嘛。圣人分得很清楚什么是真的，什么并不是真的。但是这个问题其实是针对我们这些凡人，我们会不会认为这些概念，包括时间呢，是不是真的？
And we talk here how at the present moment there is seeing a visible object, hearing and sound and thinking. These are realities that have momentary existence and can be directly experienced.
我们会常讨论，就是那个眼视以及被看到色尘、耳视、声音等等，这些是瞬间生灭的法，是真的是可以被直接经验的。
But it can be quite apparent that time is not something that has existence in the same sense of being able to be known by its characteristic when it arises.
那么，那时间呢，跟刚刚讲的这些法都不一样哦。时间并没有什么不变的特征可以被直接经验的。
Because once we've heard about what is real in the ultimate sense, we can appreciate, even without having developed any understanding, we can appreciate that everything else is conceptual, like yesterday and tomorrow, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. half a day, 1 week, all these are concepts.
John, I want to make sure I get your point.
Once we've heard about what are the realities that can be the object of understanding because they appear and have a characteristic, we can appreciate already that the idea of time is purely conceptual and not real in the same sense as those realities.
这的重点呢是，当我们对什么是真的这些法能够越来越清楚的了解，它们是真的。那么对于什么是概念，像时间这样子，我们也可以慢慢的，也可以去了解它们只是概念的，它们并不是真的。也就是说，重点是在了解什么是真的。
了解哈，谢谢，就是谢谢那个 Vincent， 也谢谢3位老师，也谢谢大家。因为我待会等一下要回家，那我很认同，就是因为我没有学习很多的佛法，那我也对这种生命的探讨很有兴趣。那我认同3位老师所说的，其实就是在了解。那可能我的文字上面比较不懂这个阿毗达摩的这个文字，但是呢，我觉得就是我觉得就是每当遇到事情的时候，或是平常的时候，不管是名词，我们探讨时间，就是遇到事情的时候，我觉得是因为我比较倾向于就是说，赶快回到自己是不是有想要什么，或是自己我怎么样了，而不是在那个市面上面纠结，比方说情绪，或是其实已经是我其实想要怎么样，我有没有贪，我会把这个东西放在这个的当下的一个观察，那意思也是说观察我现在到底是怎么样了。所以说我是不太懂名词啦，但我就是这样子的表示。那我也蛮认同老师的说法，关于世界啊，关于什么这样子，会不会是当下就是其实我已经有贪了，只是贪没有满足到，所以我开始生气了。我会把这个东西放在这个东西，然后意思就是说，其实在观察我到底是怎么样了，这个现象，这个到底是怎么样这样子。谢谢大家，谢谢。
Basically, the most important part is Chitta was sharing during daily life. Any situation when there is some emotion, he would check if there is lobha or dosa within him. So, and then he also said he appreciates what you have shared.
What is the purpose of checking whether there is lobha or dosa when there is a situation in daily life?
徐大哥，刚刚你提到说，在日常生活中有一些状况的时候，你会去检查自己的内心是不是贪爱啊这一类的，对不对？那这样的意思是你这样子检查的目的是什么？
如果以我现在的能知道的是，这样检查的目的一定是有想要让生活过得更好，不过这个也不是就近，但是日子要过下去。所以说从这样子的生命当中，因为我有经历很痛苦的死亡经验过嘛，从这样子的经验中慢慢的逐步的解套生命的实相，不然就没有办法动力啊。如果说去智慧好了，智慧也是从有这个智慧开始慢慢探讨，最后才放下这个智慧啊。
Basically to liberate to be liberated, even the banya need to be let go. John,
How can there be letting go of lobha or dosa?
那么先谈贪爱跟嗔恨呢，要怎么样才能够放下他们？
因为其实我差不多要出门了，不过这个就是人生的一个学习啦。因为就有关于善法或不善法了嘛。但是我们在学习让人生总不可能去指导说，那 让不善法一直升起，我觉得那也不正确。那也不是说让善法一直升起就是正确，但是我觉得如果说在有的世界还是要比较支持善法，我的想法是这个样子。那因为我要回家了，所以谢谢大家。不过对我蛮赞同3位老师，还有谢谢大家这一起学习，我蛮赞同说要把当下的状况看清楚，这是很重要的，就是这样子。谢谢大家。
他说那个路上平安哦，开车平安。
好，谢谢。
Okay. First, Chitta, he need to sign off now because he need to travel. He need to drive to somewhere else. And well, but what he was saying is life continue on. So it's a better world in the Kusala. If it's Kusa, it's a better world. So it's good to check what's happening now.
Okay, thank you for your comments, Jita. I think he's signed off already. I was going to say we could continue another time, but he's gone.
Yeah, I'll let him know and I'll
Thank you.
Follow up.
So in brief, usually when we think of living in our own world, we think about our life with our family, our friends, our work, our house, traveling to different places if we can. We think of this as the world, living in our own world.
那么当我们提到我们活在什么世界，我们活在自己的世界，我们想到的世界是指我们的家人、我们的朋友、我们周遭的事情，我们要去哪里？
We take all the activities and the situations and the people for existing. We think that this is the world. We think we can travel around the world. We can go from home to work and so on. This is the fantasy world.
那我们讲的世界是有各种不同的活动，各种不同的人环游世界，从家里面去上班，这个是想象的世界。
The Buddha taught however far one travels, wherever one goes, one will never understand the world without understanding the truth at this moment.
佛陀教导呢，如果不能够了解这一刻的在那里的真相是什么，它并不是透过你去走到世界的尽头就可以了解什么才是世界啊。
He taught that in truth, the world, the loka, is that which arises and falls away. There is a Pali word, lujati, meaning to crumble away. The seeing now arises and falls away, crumbles away. The hearing arises and falls away. The attachment, the dosa we were talking about, whatever is conditioned arises and falls away instantly.
Did you say lujati?
Lujati.
Okay.
This is what the word loka comes from, lujati, to crumble away.
OK， 那么佛陀说的世界呢是 lo， 那么它是来自于巴利文lujati这个字哦。那这个字的意思其实就是败坏的意思，升起就灭去了。不管刚刚的贪婪也好，升起就灭去了，这就是世界。
So, in the true meaning of the world, which Ajahn was talking about earlier, whatever is real now, whatever is conditioned, seeing, hearing, attachment, aversion, kindness, meanness, each one is the world. Whatever arises at this moment is the world.
所以呢，也是老师刚刚在告诉我们的，那个升起就灭去的，其实就是世界哦。不管是在看、在听，那么是在有贪爱，或是有嗔恨、有慈爱等等，它升起就灭去了，这个就是世界。
And these true worlds, what is seen now, what is heard now, doesn't belong to anyone. So actually it's not one's own world, but we can say we live in our own world because what is heard now is not heard by someone else. It's what is experienced at this very moment. So this is the true world.
那么刚刚举的例子呢，那些生灭的法，它也不是谁的世界。但是当我们用这种语言，我们活在自己的世界里面呢，我们所要表达的其实是，我们听到的声音就不是你听到的声音，我在想的就不是你在想的，只是不同的心识之流。但是任何的法， 都没有主人的。
And one can only reach the end of the world by understanding what the world is right now through the development of the path.
那么所谓走到世界的尽头呢，或者是苦的停止呢，就是了解现在正在生灭的这个世界，这个法当下。
So it's only by understanding what the world is that there can be the understanding of the danger of whatever arises and falls away, not just dosa, but lobha, and even kindness or wisdom. Whatever arises falls away instantly and is dangerous because it's usually the object of clinging.
那么也只有了解现在在那里的法，它是生命的这个身体就灭去的世界呢，才能够了解这些是危险的。所以不只是嗔恨是危险的，嗔恨有伤害性，没错，它是危险的。但是任何其他的法，身体一样就灭去了。想要抓住它，这件事情就是个危险的事情。
That which arises and falls away can never be a refuge. Even moments of kusala cannot be a refuge because they fall away instantly. They're also dangerous.
那么身体就灭去的是不能成为避难所的依靠，即使是善法，它一样身体就灭去了，怎么能依靠？一样是危险的，去阻止它。
So it's not a matter of checking if there's attachment, lobha, or checking if there's dosa, but understanding whatever world appears now very naturally in daily life, so that gradually there is a little less clinging on and a little more being liberated from the grasp of finding the worlds so very important.
那么，所以当我们所谓的去检查自己的内心的各种不善或什么的时候呢，这个检查本身是什么目的？要去了解啊。而事实上，我们只要去了解，自然的去了解那些现在在那里自然而然出现的法，而不是一定要刻意检查什么，那么才能够慢慢的放掉对我的存在的很深的执取。
And so without these worlds arising and falling away, like Chita said, there wouldn't be any idea of anything or anyone at all. No people, no things, no planets, nothing at all. Actually, they're just the different realities arising and falling away in life. These are the worlds that exist from moment to moment.
那么就像刚刚提到的，以及批发哥老师们都有提到，如果没有民法身体去经验，当然就不会有各种思考、各种这些传统世界的存在。那所以要去了解的是这些正在生命的法，这些是真正的世界。
And understanding the meaning of world, how it falls away, crumbles away all the time, is the way that gradually there's a little less clinging to the importance of dosa or attachment or kindness or any other reality, because whatever arises is gone instantly, not worth dwelling on at all.
那么它的重要性呢，身体就灭去的败坏的这些法呢，无常的法，这些世界的重要性是在于，越是深刻的了解这件事情呢，对于不管是嗔恨这个法的重要性就不是那么重要了，或者是其他的任何的法，他们升起就灭去了。这个事实越深刻，他们的重要性越不那么重要，因为马上就灭去了。
If there's no thinking now about the dosa I had yesterday, where is it? Actually, it's completely gone. So it's just the dream world most of the time that we live in, not the understanding of the true world at this moment.
如果没有去想着昨天的那个生气、那个愤怒、那个生气、愤怒在哪里，所以它其实早就不在那里了。那么我们对这件真相呢，其实是真的了解的，所以我们还是活在这个做梦的世界里。
And so as soon as you see your son, so much attachment, but it's so natural, just different dharmas, has to be like that way. So it's not a matter of trying not to have attachment, but just understanding whatever is conditioned very naturally.
那么当你看到儿子的时候呢，那个贪爱就会升起了他离家那么久回来了，他这很自然的所以并不是要去刻意不要让贪爱升起，而是去了解它是什么。
对，是的，这个就是去了解那个是什么出现了，什么在那里，这个是最根本的地方，就是说他能够从一切的不同的变化的相当中能够找到一个最根本的点，去这个认识去了解。
Yes, this is the most fundamental to understand whatever is there now in this keep changing world.
And are you able to discuss anything a little about the Dhamma with your son? Maybe talk to him a little bit about the difference between attachment and metta, and understanding a little bit about seeing now, hearing different realities in life, changing, falling away all the time, the different worlds at this moment.
那么大众有没有机会或者是意愿去跟儿子分享一下，就是贪爱跟慈爱的差别啊？那么智慧了解真相啊？现在那个在看的是什么？在听的是什么？有没有这种机会去分享跟儿子？
对，我是比较常的跟他聊这些相关的话题，以前也有，现在因为他上学了比较少，但是回来之后我们也会有机会就去聊到这些问题。但是他对这个的理解，他是和我是有一些和这个我现在所了解到的这个是有一些不一样的地方。就是我曾经讲过，他是认为这些东西都是没有意思的，他认为就是一种反应，纯粹的是反应。他因为可能有的时候孩子他也会坚持自己的，他和父亲之间，他可能会认为他也想坚持他的观点。我想这个暂时也是一种情况，也没关系，暂时。
Okay. Yes, I did discuss with him before he went to college. And now when he's back home, we still discuss Dhamma, but he does not really understand the Dhamma. He also has his own view, and he also insists on what he's saying.
So one can ask him a little bit more about what he thinks and why and how it relates to this moment, and whether it's true what the world is now or whether the fantasy world is true, and just share a little bit gently by asking him a little bit more about his ideas, because this is the best sharing, the best gift as a parent one can offer to a child.
那么当然可以意见不一样，看法不同，可以问他的看法为什么是这样子看呢？那么也可以问他说，跟现在这一刻的真相，他的看法跟现在这个真相是有什么关系？那么当然这个是一个善意的、温和的提问跟讨论哦。一个父母亲能够给小孩最珍贵的礼物，就是其实去慢慢的让他有机会去思考真相是什么。
Help him to question about the truth of life and what is most meaningful in life, and what life really is at this moment.
比如生命的真相是什么呢？生命中最有价值、最珍贵的是什么？那么现在这一刻，到底生命是什么？
就是关于这一点呢，因为他坚持暂时坚持他的观点，我认为我也能理解，我也能把这两种观点能够做一个贯通，只是说他认为一切就是反应，那么我们认为一切是因缘所生，这个好像中间也是有它的这个就是相关性，只是说有的时候表达上面可能是会有不一样，但是他的那种理解，我认为可能没有怎么说呢，就是因为毕竟我们现在知道有一个去了解的，有一个被了解的，有什么都不知道的，这个我认为就是表达的更清晰一些。 至于他所说的那种一切只是反应啊，就像没有生命的东西它也会有一个反应啊。那我想他没有像这样把这个心色二法这样分开来看，这个中间我觉得是有一点点的，就是说最起码这样分开来看一点，能够表述的清晰一些吧。如果只是反应的话，那么这个我不知道它会带来什么样的一个看法，就是说这个但是这个我现在也没太担心他，就是说他这样去看好了。
So basically, Dazong was get into some detail about what his son think. His son think, or instead of the condition, the nature of Dharma, his son think about reaction. So life is about keep reacting.
What about now when seeing arises? Do we say that seeing acts when seeing sees what is seen now, or when hearing hears what it hears now? Is it acting, or is it just experiencing the object?
那么大壮，比如现在在看的这一刻呢，我们可以说在看的那一刻是在反应吗？还是他只是在经验一个对象？听也是一样，听是有反应吗？还是他只是就在经验一个声音而已？
对，他这个，因为我们的这样来讲，他是在经验啊。那么我也问过他，我说那个看的那一刻，他说那个就是说，包括电脑在看的那一刻，他也在看呢，他也看见了。然后他说这个中间没有什么差别，他也看见了一些东西。所以我就是在这一点上面，我没有办法去就是说，但我想他这两个表达可能是比较类似吧，我就是觉得。
电脑在看是什么意思？
他就认为电脑就是说那个现在一个智能汽车，它是在街上，它也能看见障碍物，它也能避让。
So 大壮 son gave an example about the auto drive car. The auto drive car seems to be able to see, to stop, to make a turn. So no difference like the being.
So can the car see? Can the car hear?
车子能看吗？车子会听吗？
对，就是我们理解上这个不一样的，是有不一样的地方。但是他们现在这个孩子的理解上面，好像就是说他就是说通过这种，也许是他们现在的因缘条件吧，他觉得这个好像也是就在看呢，他也在譬如我们讲的思考啊，他有记忆啊，他也就这样子来。那么这个差别在于，可能就是讲我们可能那个所谓的就是心识的这个和他们之间的这个不同点，我没办法去给他去做一个怎么样的一个证明，或者是说一个表达，就在这里。但是我认为我这样子认识会比较好一点，因为毕竟是有就感觉是生命的这个，它是有确实不一样的一种地方感觉。
That's why his son does not really get it. So he may think artificial intellectual is real, like the robot maybe can think. So that's
one has to ask him, in truth, what is the robot? What is the car? Is it seen, or is it heard, or is it just thought about? If there's no thinking, is there a car or a robot?
当然，这也是我们可以逐渐还是会提醒他，如果什么叫做车子，什么叫做所谓的智能机器人可以去思考，我们以为有个机器人在思考，那个如果就是我们的想象而已，概念而已。
So many opportunities to discuss a little more and ask him questions to help him consider for himself more about what is the world at this moment.
所以就只能我会有机会呢，就是在你觉得适当的状况下去提问他一些问题，让他去思考。
对，就是慢慢的，就是一种在这种 不同的观点当中去做一个沟通，互相的一个了解，我觉得这个就行了，就是让他了解，然后我也了解他受想的就好了。
At least we talk to each other with the communication and I know what he thinks.
Perhaps you'll be able to join one of these discussions sometime too.
那也欢迎他有机会来加入一次哦，可以试看看听看看一次讨论。
At moment of thinking, what world is there?
在想的那一刻，什么样的世界在那里？在想的那一刻，什么世界在那里？刘仁，你要讲吗？
Can we say, Ajahn, the world of thinking?
Yes, because it's gone. See, everything. When there's no thinking, no sun, no world, nothing to talk about at all. But at moment of thinking, no world, only that which arises and think, that's all.
在想的那一刻呢，就只是那个身体去想的这些法而已。那么不管是所谓的儿子啊、车子啊这些概念的世界，其实只是因为这些身体去想的，他们才会被概念化出来。
To be reminded of what we have heard about, even the world, what is there? It can be known. Otherwise, there must be always I and thing as the world. But actually, no one and no thing. What is there is only condition, arising and falling away, never to return, no one at all.
什么才是世界呢？提醒了我们，真正在那里的究竟是什么？否则我们永远都当作是有人有东西。但是真正在那里的就只是身体就灭去的法，这个才是世界。
Otherwise, nothing can let go the wrong understanding to realize the truth.
否则是不可能逐渐的消除舍离对这些不善的颠倒的认知哦。
That's why there has to be the understanding of even the world of thinking that it's just only one world, one moment, one nimitta.
即使是在想、在造作、在概念化的那时候，只是那个去思考、去想的法。